Good morning, Cedars Church family, coming to you again with another word of encouragement to start your day. Well, while we are all here in our quarantine status, as we are social distancing, as we are all working on when we're going to all be able to get back to having businesses be opened again, church be opened again, we're all struggling in different ways. And one of the places, again, that we see it so often is on Facebook and in our conversations and the things that we post. And my biggest concern is that while we are all having to exercise social distancing now, that when the time comes and we finally all get back together again, that we're going to keep exercising social distancing because we have all simply alienated one another with all of our different opinions. And there are so many different ideas and different mindsets, and they all make perfect sense to us. And yet, what we most certainly want to have with our brothers and sisters in the body of Christ and with people outside of the church who are looking at us and watching our behavior and examining everything that we're doing. We want to be able to treat everybody with grace, to speak to each person with kindness and with love. Colossians chapter 4, verse 6, Paul writes, "Let your conversation always be full of grace." That's a great word. Let your conversation be with grace. That word "with" implies like walking together, going side by side. Your conversation should always be side by side with grace. He says, seasoned with salt. Personally, I've talked about this before. I'm a nosmic. I can't smell. And everyone says, well, then you must not be able to taste. I do taste, and yet my flavor palette is not what everyone else's is. It's considerably weaker. So on my food, I love spice. I love to add all kinds of different flavors, and so I prepare food for myself and I spice it up. But the fact of the matter is when I cook for other people, and I love to cook, I love to bake, I love to prepare food, I love making dinner. Whenever I do that, my food is always set aside and spiced differently than I do it for other people. So the way that we prepare our conversation for one person is going to be different than how we prepare our conversation for another person. It's seasoned with salt. And it's not just that you would add savor or flavor to your conversation, to your grace, but also salt was a preservative, best known at this time for its preserving qualities, that your words would not be spoiled, that your words would not corrupt. We always want our words to bring life, our words to bring encouragement to one another. So let your conversation always be with grace. Your conversation should always walk side by side with grace. Let it be seasoned with salt, not corrupting, always uplifting, so that you may know how to answer everyone, each individual person. Be considerate to how we treat people who don't think like we do. And I don't just mean Christians and non-Christians. I mean people who have a mindset about this particular epidemic that we are involved in. If you think that we should all be free, be thoughtful to the person who is extra careful washing their hands and really feels that it's not time to let ourselves intermingle. And if you're the one who feels that we need to be super careful and it's all about being overcautious, then have grace towards the one who is ready to be out and about. They don't always think like we do, but we can always, always, always be gracious in our actions. Let your grace always be side by side with your conversation. Think about that one today. God bless you. Have yourselves a great day. And remember, you are loved.